Talking with famous people. Asked me before I restarted the video. Hi, I'm host Eric. Welcome to Talking with Famous People. Zachary asked me about debate, and I answered. He asked me how did I become a debate coach? Well, I started by being a debater in high school. I was a policy debater. My school didn't really have a debate coach. We had a speech coach, and so they're very different things. And speech coaches they don't know how to coach debate. And so we had to learn kind of on our own, but we learned pretty quickly, and we ended up being quite good at it. My partner was very well organized, very on top of keeping evidence, making sure we cut cards, stuff like that. And I was the second speaker both on AF and NEG, and a lot of times just sort of rely on him to hand me shit, and I just sort of, I just bullshitted my way through it. We won a lot of debate rounds that way, though. I tell you, we won a lot of debate rounds. I qualified for states. We did, but my team didn't go to states that year. We didn't go to states any of the years I was there. But anyway, that was kind of sad. And then I was away from debate for a long time. Hi, Host Tony. Hey, there's a guy who's got a good name right there. Host Tony. You have a better name than me. Host Tony has a better name than I do on GoToMeeting. Anyway, I wasted time doing some other shit for a long time. But I became a classroom teacher. That was useful skills. Eventually I became a regular classroom teacher. That was useful skills development. But when they gave me a debate team and I realized, I don't want to teach anymore. Teaching's noble enough, but it's so much less effective than coaching debate, But let's turn on.
So you feel like coaching debate is more effective for education?
Oh, fuck yeah. A million times more effective. Infinitely more effective. Like, they are wasting those kids for smart kids. Okay? Smart kids are having their time wasted in school. Yeah.
So you.
Go ahead.
Huh? I was just gonna say, your progression was school teacher and then debate coach, and you've been a debate coach since.
Yeah, and I was a coach. I was coach one period, and I was English teacher like 4 periods for a couple of years, and that was really bad for my English classes. I by the end, I basically stopped teaching English entirely, and I have my English. First of all, the whole middle school was on my debate team. And I just had my English classes. The ones who weren't, they'd be like, okay, read something off in the corner now. We've got debate stuff to do. So, it was just, I realized there's no point in doing this other stuff. At first, it took me a while to realize I was good at it, because at first we did well. We'd start winning, and I just assumed it was luck or something. I didn't know what it was. I just figured I was getting lucky. Eventually, I realized, okay, I guess I'm good at this. And
did you first think that everyone else was just so bad?
Well, first I thought I was lucky. Then I thought, well, we're not up against any real competition. Then one of my kids won the national championship at the national tournament. So I was like, okay, well, that's the most.
Maybe I'm okay at this.
Yeah, that's the best you can do right there. That's the best you can do. And then when I around the end of that, I started a program. It was a private business program that like the one I currently have, but it was somebody else owned the business, and I built that program up. And that program, it did really well. We won 4 Schools of Excellence awards in the last 5 years or something like that. I don't know, which are fairly hard to get. I'd say it during the last 4 years, it's been one of the top 3 or 4 middle school debate programs in the country.
Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty successful. I'm shocked too, dude. I don't know what to say about it. I'm shocked. I had no idea. that I could.
So what do you think the most important aspect of debating is the logical argumentation, being able to formulate very concrete logic?
Well, in coaching, the most important thing, I can not hear you, host Tony, if that is you who put that chat there. Can you hear me? It says, I cannot hear you. Zach, can you hear him?
I don't even see where he put the chat at.
Oh, well.
He might have just sent that to you.
Oh, he may have just sent it to me. That's possible.
It says his mic is muted now. He might be trying to get the device to work.
Oops.
Oh, I see it. Oh, yeah, I see it now.
Okay, yeah. So, unfortunately, I can't really help you except to say, Tony, that if you look under audio and your mic thing, it may give you a choice of a couple of different mics, and make sure you try them both. And if you have a camera, there's a picture of a camera to turn on. It makes it go green. I think the most important thing about argumentation is, for the coaching perspective, is getting them to understand it as deeply as possible. And so, and what's interesting is the hardest arguments to get them to understand are the most bullshit arguments, because they don't ring intuitively true, and you can't get them to grasp onto anything really. For example,
so how does debate work? How do they choose? Are you assigned a side that you have to debate for? Because I've never been a part of a debate team, so I'm unsure how it works.
No, well, for public forum debate, which is the kind I'm coaching right now, all three major flow debate formats, which are policy, LD, and public forum. Policy is the hardest, most advanced. LD is medium. Public forum is they're all flow debate. There are easy non-flow debate formats. To say public forum is less advanced is incorrect. It's tactically narrower. Anyway, the way it works is they're given a topic. Like the current topic is to alleviate income inequality, the United States should prioritize spending on public infrastructure projects over spending on means-tested welfare programs. That's the current public forum.
That's the question you asked me before.
Yeah, that's the current public forum topic. The previous public forum topic was about a carbon tax. Should we have a carbon tax? And the one before that was, I think it was, Russia sanctions. Should we sanction Russia? And before that it was standardized testing. So,
standardized testing, was that one video? There was one video I commented on a while back that was really enjoyable. It was really well put.
Yeah, that was our NAEG case, basically. Yeah, it was basically our NAEG case in which I say, educate. I had our kids running these ones. So that was an example of something that's hard to get the kids to understand. Is I was having them run on the NAEG side a Foucaultian discourse ethics thing, which is an ethical argument. It's not about how to educate kids. And I was having them read the parts of the card, which is perfectly okay to do, right? That support the interpretation you're trying to sell it as, which is, it may be originally about ethical decision making, but the same mechanism applies to education and how we should deal with individual students. And so the idea behind it was that we shouldn't have a standardized rules-based approach to ethical decision-making, and we're conflating that and saying we shouldn't have a standardized rules-based approach to designing education for people, basically, And so it was hard to get them to understand, particularly the notion that, one, there's a rights issue here where they have property rights to their own body that are being violated when they're being compelled to do things. It takes a while to just get that concept because they're so accustomed to being compelled to do things. They don't believe it. They get it as an argument well before they believe it.
I recall them saying that they didn't think the judges would be able to understand it. When I don't think that. I think it was more of them having trouble to them themselves, like you said, they hadn't understood the individual rights yet.
Yeah, well, those two kids were little super geniuses who, those two little sixth graders, I mean, those are extraordinarily rare exceptions. You don't get sixth graders who sit there and tell you, I don't know, Eric, I'm not sure judges are going to buy this Foucaultian discourse case. You don't normally get that, right? Because normally they just don't get it themselves, or they just go with what you're saying and hope for the best, you know. And then they get mad if it doesn't work. You have to explain to them, no, it didn't work because you're not running it right. But it's like my what's his name? The Tocqueville habits of democracy case, where I say, you know, we negate the desire to intervene in the Middle East by instead of saying no, we shouldn't intervene because militarily because we should do these other things. You go, you know, we should be totally isolationist. And the reason is because if we want them to be stable, they have to kill themselves into democracy, right? People don't intuitively think this case is a safe case to run. But if you run it right, it works 100%. Because it's true, you can't interfere with the people's progression through the stages of socio-political development. They were in this tribal stage before we got there and said, you're a country now. You know, well, of course it's a fucked up country. It's not their country. It's some structure imposed upon them from the outside.
Is Tony still having mic issues?
I don't know.